And so I'm so happy that today, slowly, a step at a time, because the so-called regional films are actually being celebrated because they are great films, and because there are so many great directors and so many great voices of storytelling in our country, and we are also such a diverse and syncretic country. Yeah, mostly syncretic. And I think all those voices are now being heard, and I think that's wonderful to celebrate that together, you know. And so I'm an Indian film actor, and that is, and today, even if somebody makes a film in Spanish, if I love the director and if I love his intention or her intention, and I think that's where it starts. It's your intention. What is the intention for me to be telling this story? What do I want to do when I tell this story? And what is it? It's a connection. I want to sit in your heart and I want to go home with you. And I can do that in any language. And that's what I want to do. And I think that's what's happening, a step at a time, but it is happening. You know, again, maybe it's my upbringing, maybe it's the fact that I have had a guru since I was 5 years old, a dance teacher who's almost like a parent. And I've stood in front of her for choreographies as a young girl, and sometimes just been shredded, you know. And it's fine, because I believe that when it comes to art, there must actually, and I'm saying this not because I'm sitting in front of you all, but I truly believe it. Art is much above any of us, and it is almost sacred, and you almost try to attain, you know, you sort of, you're trying to attain perfection, and you try to go towards that sacred art, and I think that is the journey that is very beautiful. And in that, I believe that you must shed your ego. And when you shed your ego, that is when you truly, truly surrender to the process of it. And I think the process of creating that art is really incredible. And with Sanjay sir, I know a lot has been said about him, and there are so many rumors, but I really do enjoy his process a lot, because he pretty much functions like, I would always say, I'm not some star, I'm not some whatever people say about me, they have that impression of me, but that is not me. I'm just a girl standing in front of my director, asking him to direct me, and, you know, take me on this journey. And it was really that. And once I did that, I found it so exciting and so challenging. And that's the fuel, the challenge of it, you know. And some days I wanted to like whack myself, and I used to feel that even as a little girl standing in front of my teacher, so it wasn't anger towards her or him, it's more anger at yourself that, you know, they are taking me into this amazing space. And sometimes it is you yourself that, you know, who is unable to break certain barriers and get there. But when you break them and when you get there, it's so exciting, you know. And I think working with him is that, and also, as you said, he's an auteur, and he is a true artist. So whether it's dance, whether it's music, whether it's art direction, whether it's emotion, whether it's, and his heroines especially, I find them very, very layered. You know, people do talk about how beautiful they look or how well they dance and all of the above, but I think the fact that his heroines hold, or that his stories hold, or that people keep going back to them, even with Mani sir, is because there is an emotional connect there. And I think he always tries to find that, and more I believe he is trying to find that. And while he's doing it in that kind of what is called perfection, I feel he's also trying to break rhythm, but at the same time create it, find the magic, keep it real, and connect. So I found that it's very challenging to work like that, because you're doing everything, you know.
So can you give us a specific example? An anecdote, you know, if you will. Yeah.
Okay. So honestly, the scenes for me, like, maybe because I'm not trained as an actor, so the scenes for me were very, like, I was able to like, you know, people talk about 50 takes or whatever, and I would actually, like, we would do 2 or 3 takes or whatever, and he would be like, no, I'm not going beyond 3 takes for her. But it was the dance that actually I found the most challenging, also because I'm trained in Bharatanatyam, and that body language has been drilled into my system since I was a 5-year-old. And now I have to do Kathak, and I have to do authentic Kathak, but also Kathak of that time, which is actually about this. It's about bhav, because we are Thumri singers, and Thumri, every word of Thumri and every nuance of Thumri is actually a dance, and it's very expressive. And so the way that you sing, you don't lip sync like you sing like you lip sync in Bollywood films. It's it's a very delicate kind of lip sync. So when we're doing the mujra, the dance portion, we started the Heeramandi shoot with the dance, with my dance, the one that's gone viral, that one. And I had actually put on a little bit of weight because he wanted me to, but I didn't want to, but also I had COVID and I just happened to have put on weight. So how people are giving me so much credit for looking a particular way, I'm like, I take no credit for it. It was also Sanjay sir who was like, oh my God, this girl has finally put on weight, because he keeps saying I'm too skinny. And he's like, you are not a L'Oreal model, you are a Tawayef. So I want you to have a little weight on you. And so anyway, so I had this weight on me. We started the mudra, and I think for me that was the most challenging, to get every single beat in place, to get the nuances, to get the hand movement right. And also I thought it was very interesting because dance is looked at as very performative, but here it is not performative, it's more interactive, and it's very, very intimate, because there is a girl there, and he wanted me without any jewelry, with very little makeup, with like almost bare. And there is the Nawab who actually loves this girl very much, and that is a very different kind of narrative that we see, you know, in Heeramandi, which is not the typical Tawayef narrative. And there is actually a kind of a dialogue between the two. And at the same time, though it's very erotic and it's love poetry, Thumri is love poetry, the fact that this girl has, you know, another narrative going on in her life and in her world, something that she longs for, which is freedom. That narrative has to be there kind of throughout, but specifically at the end. In that shot, if you see where, you know, I don't know who has seen it and who has not, but that last shot, he wanted that narrative, he wanted that look in the eyes, that is this love, is this longing for, what freedom is she longing for, you know, and what exactly. So these little nuances I found actually exciting, but also difficult.